With no luck, everyone had to backtrack, but the way back had turned into a maze. Suddenly, they heard a roar. It sounded like the curly-haired guy was wrestling with a ghost, so they rushed towards the noise. They arrived at the room, but there was no curly guy, just a lonely bed waiting for some wild dreams. Suddenly, the bed moved, and to everyone's horror, it took off flying. Talk about a bed that takes you places, leaving everyone utterly astonished. Even better than a flying dude, the scene turned into a roller coaster. Everyone bolted in a panic. Their screams echoed everywhere, and the camera got fuzzed out, fading into darkness. They found themselves in a new room, feeling defeated, hunger and fear bouncing around like a round ball. All they could do was sleep. After a while, they heard Jin's scream ringing in their ears. Upon rising, they noticed a glaringly bloody hello inscribed on her back. It seems that the ghosts here have also embarked on socializing endeavors now. Amid the noise, they faintly heard him shout he was called, but Lance's question met silence. He figured that since they were getting a signal, the curly-haired guy must be nearby. Better not drop the ball this time. Finally, they geared up again, setting off on a challenging quest to find the curly guy. On the way, a shadow zipped behind Big Chewing, thinking only the curly guy would sneak like that. Rushing up, they found it was a long-haired patient deep in thought by the wall, not the curly guy after all. The woman's vacant face let out a roar, sounding like a dog barking. "Run for your lives." In the panic, they ran everywhere, causing Big Mountain and the others to scatter like confetti. From that moment on, he wandered aimlessly through the darkness, with an eerie atmosphere pervading the surroundings, as if invisible ghosts were silently approaching from all around. Suddenly, a mysterious force yanked him up like an alien abducting him. Meanwhile, the other three were hiding in a room, completely puzzled by what was going on. They felt like there were lots of people around. All they could do was wait, hoping for something fun to happen. Suddenly, wristbands appeared on them, clearly displaying their names. Talk about the VIP treatment. Looks like the ghosts here considered them patients, planning to never let them out. Nevertheless, they held on to a tiny glimmer of hope for survival. If they are alive, there must be an exit. So they set off again on the tough journey for an exit, but weird voices echoed down the corridor. Suddenly, a big hand appeared, sending everyone running. Talk about scary. They stumbled into a room, where the curly guy was just sitting there looking dazed. He was huddled in a corner, mumbling to himself when he saw them. "Put me down first. This is a prank of the ages." Suddenly, a terrifying roar echoed, making everyone realize danger was almost here. They quickly pulled the curly guy into a relatively safe spot, seeking to know what happened. The curly-haired guy flashed a mysterious smile and slowly uttered words that were hard to accept. He said reassuringly, "Don't worry, everybody, everything will be just fine." Before they realized it, everyone was utterly exhausted and helplessly dozed off in a corner of the room. "Geez, can't I catch a break?" A roar sent countless black hands reaching out. It felt like they were being dragged into an endless abyss, and in an instant, everyone was pulling each other and fleeing for their lives. They hid in a bathroom filled with bathtubs, thinking they'd escape, but soon they heard soft weeping. The guy looked up to find the bathtub filled with blood. His heart sank. They prepared to leave, but the curly guy stood frozen by the bathtub, his gaze locked, seemingly deeply entranced. Legend has it that the woman who died in a bathtub was truly there before them, and no joke. She suddenly reached out, pulling Big Chewing in no time to react. The others rushed to help, but the tipped-over bathtub had nothing but blood. Where did he go? Big Chewing disappeared just like that, as if by magic. Even the curly-haired guy couldn't contain his laughter, bursting into giggles as if he had just heard the funniest joke ever. After a brief rest, they set off once again to find an escape, this time turning to the mysterious elevator. But even with all their strength, the elevator door wouldn't budge. Talk about utterly frustrating. Reluctantly, he left the curly guy and Jim behind, going off to find a tool to pry it open. After a search, he found a steel pipe, but also stumbled upon something strange. Getting closer, he realized it was a puddle of blood. Yikes. Suddenly, a failed comic was crawling on the wall. Seeing it, Lance wanted to bail. At the elevator door, he finally pried it open, but couldn't explain why the horror kept coming. Camera in hand, he approached the dark, facing a big T chew at the twist. Meanwhile, the curly-haired individual began to joke about himself with the raised corner of his mouth, laughing. It seems like him nearly ready to graduate from the sea grovy not Armenian jar. Ha.